Yo, what is good, Jets Nation? Welcome back to Jets Media. This is Richie, and today I want to break down the New York Jets training camp this morning. I was in attendance today and yesterday, and I finally got home. I know that practice was earlier this morning, and this video is coming out a little later in the day. My apologies. It does take around 2.5 hours to get through the traffic to get to New York in Long Island. So, finally home, and I'm excited to give you guys this video because yesterday's practice was kind of not a lot to break down. There was no pads on, and it felt like a slow day for the Jets just kind of acclimate after that Thursday night game against the Cleveland Browns for the Hall of Fame game. Well, today, not the case. They had full pads on, and it was all go. And it was really, really cool to see this team go out there because there's a lot to unpack in this video. A lot happened this morning, and I feel like the Jets had a longer practice, and then they transitioned into their joint practices with the Carolina Panthers this week that I'll actually be in attendance for, and will give you guys my in-person thoughts and in-person reporting from Spartanburg, South Carolina. Cannot wait to be there, so stay tuned for content here on Jets Media covering the joint practices against the Carolina Panthers. But let's get into this morning's practice. But before we do that, I do want to mention, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of Jets content coming your way all throughout the rest of training camp, and of course carrying over right into the season. And if you guys enjoy this video, it would mean a lot if you could simply hit that thumbs up button and comment your thoughts of training camp thus far. Now, before we get into what happened in this morning's practice, let's go over some transactions. The Jets actually cut Hamza Nasruddin and Malik Hall this morning, 2 linebackers, and they signed 2 linebackers in their place. This is because both Hamza Nasruddin and Malik Hall suffered injuries, and they're simply going to be out for like 2 or 3 weeks. So Robert Saleh spoke to the media this morning and said that they need camp bodies, they need players to practice, they need players to play in the preseason. And unfortunately for Hamza Nasruddin, the former 6th-round pick, he's the odd man out. Remember, he was cut last year as well, signed to the practice squad. Definitely seems like someone that's not going to have a long-term position for this New York Jets team. Maybe he gets signed from the practice squad. We will find out. And the 2 linebackers we signed, they're camp bodies. They're not going to make the 53-man roster. They're just going to be on this team for the next couple of weeks. So I'm not even going to really break them down, to be honest. Some injuries that happened in today's practice. Carl Lawson did not practice with back tightness. Lincoln Tomlinson, Quincy Williams, and Jermaine Johnson, they both got nicked up today. All 3 of them got nicked up today. But according to Robert Saleh, nothing too serious. So don't you guys worry anything about that. We're going to hear more about those injuries later on from Robert Saleh, but he did say about Jermaine Johnson that he would have been able to return to practice, but they're just being extra careful. They don't want to rush him back. So that means Jermaine's absolutely okay. But I'll break down what I saw from the Quincy Williams injury when we get into that play in particular. So let's start off with Aaron Rodgers, because that is always my favorite part to talk about. So Aaron Rodgers had a really good day today. The one thing about Aaron Rodgers that he has been so good at is those short intermediate throws. And you can really tell that this offense is starting to get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers and his nuances at the line of scrimmage and this checks and getting the wide receivers and the playmakers all on the same page with him. Because what Aaron Rodgers is trying to do here, folks, it's make sure everybody is seeing the game through his eyes. And when that happens, that's when this offense goes to another level. That's when the Jets are going to score a lot of points and be an elite offense. But it's going to take a lot of time for that to happen. And what I mean by that is the tight ends, the wide receivers, the running backs, they got to be able to read the defense and see the game similarly to Aaron Rodgers. Because when that's the case and it gives them a hand signal, the receivers are on the same page and they know exactly what to do. And what I mean by that is the quick passes. There's some times where Rodgers gets the snap and the ball's out of his hands within 0.2 seconds. And it's a quick pass right to McCall Hardman over the middle or to the tight end. And those are those 2 tight end. The 2 players that really stands out to me in terms of those quick passes are McCall Hardman and whoever the tight end is, whether it's Uzama, Conklin, Ruckert. He really likes to get rid of the ball very fast over the middle, and he checks at the line. He sees what the defense is giving him. He makes a read, and then all of a sudden, ball snap, boom, ball's out within it's within a blink of an eye, and it's a quick, easy 5 or 6 yard gain. Those are the types of things that makes Aaron Rodgers the Hall of Famer that he is. Just understands the game at another level. Now, Aaron Rodgers' short to medium gain is elite. He is making dimes to the right sideline, to the left sideline, to Jeremy Ruckert. He had a really good pass to for a first down, and Ruckert made a contested catch, which was elite. He had a crazy throw to Tyler Conklin, which Tyler Conklin went up there and it was a contested grab over DJ Reed and Quincy Williams. That's actually the play where Quincy Williams got injured. Tyler Conklin basically went up for the high point, brought it in, and then Quincy Williams's both ankles got turned, and then he got up and was limping on both ankles. So I don't know the extent of that injury. Hopefully it's not too serious. Another throw from Aaron Rodgers I noticed was to Corey Davis over the middle of the field, threw a bullet, high pointed it. Corey Davis with a spectacular catch brings it in for the first down. Really, really cool stuff from Aaron Rodgers. But the one thing I will say that I've not seen Aaron Rodgers connect with yet this early in camp is the deep ball. The short and medium throws have been sensational, but every time I've been at practice, Rodgers attempts deep balls, but I don't think he's connected on one. Now, I don't know if, and even McCall Hardman said himself that he's trying to get on the same page with him, and it feels like the short and medium things are working, but they're not on the same page with the deep ball yet. And that's something that's going to take some time, because that has a lot to do with timing rather than accuracy, because the wide receiver has to be right in the spot where the ball is going to be dropped. And so far, Rodgers has not really connected on a deep ball just yet. So that's definitely something to keep in mind when it comes to the development of this offense with Aaron Rodgers. We're really hoping that that deep ball connects. And remember, when we're without Garrett Wilson and he's throwing up the deep balls to guys like Malik Taylor and Randall Cobb, and they're just not connecting. So definitely intriguing to see how that develops throughout training camp. Zach Wilson, to get into him real quick, he continues to impress. One thing that stood out to me about Zach Wilson today was he did something that looks like an Aaron Rodgers play. He's reading the defense, he makes a check at the line, and he snaps it, and he gets rid of the ball quickly to Kenny Yeboah over the middle on a seams for like a 15, 18-yard gain. That is a little thing that you can tell is making Zach Wilson the game click a little faster, because Aaron Rodgers is developing him, and that's not something that Zach Wilson was good at last year. Zach Wilson was terrible at being able to see what the defense is giving him and be able to check to a new play and exploit the defensive weakness and just go to a player immediately when the ball snapped. We know that Zach Wilson struggled with holding on the ball too long, where today it looked like he was getting rid of the ball fast, efficiently. His mind is processing things quickly. That is a really good sign. So Zach Wilson continues to impress. He had a lot of really good laser throws over the middle of the field to guys to like Allen Lazard and a bunch of players. So Zach Wilson had like one bad throw on 11 on 11. That was a little high. But other than that, I was really impressed with Zach Wilson, and he continues to look really, really good. Let's stay with the offense before we get into the defense. This was definitely the best day for the Jets offensive line in the run game. This was really promising to see. Michael Carter had extra juice today. Every time he touched the ball, he kept going with the rock. Even when he was tackled, he would run all the way into the end zone, juke people out. He was in the second level. Really looked like he had some extra speed and extra just momentum in today's practice. Michael Carter definitely is taking some strides and looking really good today in training camp, as well as Bam Knight. Bam Knight had a couple good runs. Izzy Benekenda, he got the ball in open field on a screen pass. Joe Tippmann was out in front of him, opening up holes. This was a really good day overall for the running backs and the offensive line. Elijah Vera Tucker had a key block in the second level to free up a couple plays. Same with Joe Tippmann. Mekhi Becton held his ground. There was one play where I was watching Mekhi Becton, and the Jets defensive line tried to run a stunt, and they brought Al Woods from the inside to the outside to go up against Mekhi Becton. Mekhi absolutely shut down Al Woods. Now, Al Woods is a big man, big-time veteran player, and Mekhi Becton held his ground. So good signs from Mekhi Becton. Really, really great stuff. So overall, again, the offensive line was moving the Jets defensive line. And remember, the pads are on, so this is the time to evaluate the trenches, whereas last practice yesterday, no pads on, hard to evaluate the trenches. But today, the run game looked really good, and that is a big sign for this progression of the Nathaniel Hackett offense, because without an established run game, the whole offense with Aaron Rodgers, with the play action, it's not going to work. So positive sign for the New York Jets when it comes to running the football. Now, transitioning to the defensive side, one player that stood out that was the star of practice before he got nicked up was definitely Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine had like 2 would-be sacks. He is exploding off the line. He is quick. He is strong. He was obliterating Billy Turner. Billy Turner was at left tackle, and I know a lot of Jets fans are a little concerned about Billy Turner at left tackle. Don't worry. Dwayne Brown will be the left tackle, I'm pretty sure, when he gets healthy, which is in a couple of weeks. But Jermaine Johnson was abusing him, and he would have had 2 easy sacks on Aaron Rodgers if he was allowed to sack the quarterback, which you're not allowed to at practice. You got to keep Aaron Rodgers upright. But Jermaine looks so efficient, so clean off that line. Really, really promising stuff. Some interesting things that I noticed in terms of who's playing at what position. Adrian Amos was playing at the nickel. So Michael Carter II was on the sideline for a couple reps. Wasn't like he had an injury or anything, but the Jets wanted to give Smash some time at the nickel spot to play that hybrid linebacker spot. Remember, Chuck Clark was going to be that type of hybrid linebacker nickel role before he tore his ACL. The Jets bring in Adrian Amos to replace him. So there was a package where it was him on the field with CJ Mosley, Quincy Williams, and the two safeties of Jordan Whitehead and Tony Adams with Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. So that's an interesting package that they're bringing him in to replace Michael Carter II on certain plays, and I found that pretty interesting. So the Jets have a lot of moving parts at the linebacker spot with some injuries to Quincy Williams and some injuries to guys like Nasruddin, who is now officially cut, and Chaz Surratt is injured as well. So definitely some interesting things to keep in mind from that linebacker and safety unit for these New York Jets. The final play of practice, which was the play of the game, play of practice in my eyes, which was an interception by Sauce Gardner. Aaron Rodgers, first play in the red zone, threw up a ball, and from my vantage point, it looked like it was going to be a touchdown, but Sauce came out of nowhere, showed off his range, showed off his quickness, and just picks it off and returns it 100 yards for a pick six. And Sauce Gardner, this is the types of plays that gets me really excited, because this is what we need from Sauce to take his game to another level in year number 2. Now, it's going to be hard for Sauce to replicate what he did in year number 1. It was that sensational. But if he wants to improve his game, it's going to be this: being a ball hawk, being able to rip the ball out of the air and put up points for the defense and give this offense more opportunities to score points and getting turnovers. Sauce Gardner led the NFL last year in pass deflections with 20, but he only had 2 interceptions with 2. I think that if Sauce can get around 5 to 8 interceptions, I know that's a weird range, but I think that is the next level to his game. So it's cool to see, because Sauce was peeled off his man and just came out of nowhere and picked it off. And that is the freakish talent of Sauce Gardner. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers went up to him afterwards and had some wise words for him. Say, hey, you got me there, huh? Even though Sauce promised Aaron Rodgers if he came to the Jets, he won't pick him off in practice. Well, that's 2 picks for Sauce Gardner on Aaron Rodgers so far in training camp. Now, before we finish off the video, I do want to mention one player in particular who is the special teams stud. Greg the Leg, baby. 8 for 8. He just doesn't miss, whether it's a chip shot of 25, 35 yards or it's a 45-yarder, 55-yarder. He didn't miss all day in practice. The Jets had a lot of special teams today, and shout out to Thomas Morstead as well. He was nuking punts. So the Jets special teams continues to impress. So that's really going to wrap up today's recap. A lot of things to unpack. Aaron Rodgers continues to be that guy to elevate the players around him. There was a play, actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this, to McCole Hardman. And we talked about McCole Hardman and Aaron Rodgers' connection on the deep balls not there. There was a play where he hit Hardman for a quick slant over the middle. Hardman caught it, and then the safety, I forgot who it was trying to tackle him, but Hardman completely just turned on the Jets, and he was gone for 80-yard touchdown. It would have been a touchdown. He was untouched. The Jets aren't really wrapping up and tackling because they don't want to hurt each other, but it was a quick slant. He caught it. He beat that man off the line of scrimmage. I think it was Eccles in coverage, and then he turned on the afterburners, and it was gone. That's the next level of speed, and the next kind of new dimension of this offense that Hardman brings is he can take a quick slant to the house, 80 yards. That's how fast he is. Really excited to see what Hardman does in this offense with Aaron Rodgers. So again, that's going to wrap up this video, folks. Comment down below a Statue of Liberty emoji if you stayed all the way into the end. Appreciate all your support here on Jets Media, of course, and hit that thumbs up button if you did not already. A lot of things happened in today's training camp this morning, and cannot wait to be over there in Carolina to report on the Jets versus Panthers joint practice Wednesday and Thursday. I'll see you guys there. Let's go Jets, and peace out.